Hey everyone, I'm Isaac and welcome back to Isaac Reviews 2025. Throughout the 2010s, the Marvel Cinematic Universe absolutely dominated the box office, which inspired a lot of other studios to make their own cinematic universe in the hopes of replicating Marvel's success. And one of the most notable examples was the DC Extended Universe. But even if a small handful of their films were successful, the grand majority of them were massive failures critically, financially, or both. So now that the DCEU is dead and buried, Warner Brothers is taking another shot at making a big universe featuring these characters. And who better to helm such an endeavor than the horribly beautiful James Gunn? He already achieved success with the Guardians of the Galaxy trilogy, and although it was a financial disappointment due to the pandemic, The Suicide Squad was easily the best film in the DCEU. So who wouldn't want someone as talented as him in charge? Oh, Zack Snyder fans? Specifically the ones who treat Gunn like the Antichrist because Snyder only got to do 3 mediocre at best movies instead of the whole DC universe? Even though the two of them are good friends in real life, not to mention Gunn is one of the main reasons why Snyder became a prominent filmmaker in the first place, some people really need to go outside for once in their lives, I swear to God. But regardless of what the Snyder cult was saying, I was still really excited for Gunn's take on DC's most iconic character, especially since it was gonna be more in line with the Richard Donner films as opposed to him essentially being the Homelander in the DCEU. And now that the film is out, did it do justice to the Man of Tomorrow? I'd say it did. Unlike most other Superman media, this film skips the origin story that we already know and instead jumps to him in the middle of his career, where his actions surrounding a foreign conflict fall under a lot of public scrutiny, giving billionaire genius Lex Luthor an opportunity to dispose of him for good. As such, Superman will have to team up with some old and new companions to clear his name and stop Luthor's plans from coming to fruition. I'll start now by saying that even though I liked this movie, it is unfortunately the weakest of James Gunn's comic book films, although that should give you an idea of just how consistently great his track record is. I say this because while it does have some good ideas, in execution it sometimes feels like it's biting off more than it can chew. While I respect it for doing something different, I wish it could have done more to flesh out the side characters and the world itself, although I'm sure they'll be doing that in some of the future DCU films and shows. Despite that, the rest of the film is still really solid, especially when it comes to its themes. There's no doubt about it, this is a very political film. Not really in the sense of it being an Orange Man Bad movie, although that is somewhat true here, but more in the sense of it commentating on a number of real-world topics like immigration, the wars in Ukraine and Gaza, Elon Musk, and just the general idea of Superman being a champion for the oppressed, which is very comic accurate. On top of that, the performances are excellent, with David Corenswet nailing the lead role in terms of his strength and vulnerability, and Rachel Brosnahan providing some excellent chemistry and emotion to Lois Lane. But the MVP of the cast would have to be Nicholas Hoult as Lex Luthor. One of James Gunn's more underrated strengths is that he's able to make his villains as absolutely loathsome and irredeemable as possible, and Luthor is another fine example of that. Hoult is delightfully sinister in the role, going super over the top and really emphasizing how this version of Luthor is a complete pure evil monster. He's basically like Jack Horner, except skinny and bald. Oh yeah, and Crypto the Superdog is also in this movie. I was a bit surprised when I first learned that they'd be including him, but he was a nice addition. And not only are the characters great, but the action is too. There's some super cool uses of the characters' abilities, the CG effects from Weta, ILM, and Framestore are really good for the most part, the score is big and bombastic, and the fights are consistently engaging and well choreographed. In general, Superman is something that gives me a lot of hope in not just the future of the DC universe, but that superhero movies can finally be something audiences can look forward to again. They can be more than just obligations for studios to make a quick buck while hyping up the next big crossover, and they can be enjoyed by those who thought the genre was beginning to feel oversaturated. And while Superman isn't the best film out there, it's still something I was glad I was able to experience. It provides some timely and thought-provoking commentary, the action is exciting, the actors knocked it out of the park, and it feels like an authentic showcase of the title character and what he represents. Definitely check this out if you're able to, especially if you're a DC fan, because between this and Fantastic Four First Steps, it looks like superhero movies are back on the menu. 8 out of 10. Next time, oh god, I'll be talking about Smurfs. Well, it was only a matter of time before I'd be talking about another probably terrible film, and yeah, this one looks like it'll make the Raja Gosnell duology look like the Lord of the Rings trilogy. But if you're excited for that video and want to see more like it, then consider subscribing to the Isaac Carthy channel. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you all later.